Hey, hi everyone. I am just trying to go live on Instagram as well. So, so today is day two of a Mental Health Awareness Week in UK. Today we are going to talk about therapy. I know a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions around therapy in the sense that, a lot of people think that I'm taking medication, I'm working out, I'm eating healthy. What is the need of a therapist? I've heard a lot of people, especially in India, saying that, people are just, minting money and, therapists don't really understand what's going through. I think first thing, a couple of things that I wanted to say. Firstly, therapy takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to build that relationship with your therapist to find out the kind of therapy that will work for you. So if you have gone on one session or two sessions and you're expecting that, oh, why am I not benefiting out of it? Why am I not feeling better? It doesn't work that way. It takes a lot of time to build that rapport, build that trust with your therapist, to understand what is working for you and what is not working for you. I did CBT therapy when I was at the hospital for approximately 2 months, and it did not benefit me at all. And then I was told by my CBT therapist that probably you should go for IPT therapy. I'll try and explain whatever little I know about CBT, IPT, DBT. So CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy, which basically there are a lot of models like CBT models that help you to understand your thought process, help you to challenge your thought process, and to kind of understand that how your body or your mind reacts to all of these thought processes that you have. Say for instance, when I was depressed, I had a thought that all of my loved ones are going to leave me. And then we would go through this thought that I have, and they always said that thoughts are automatic brain reflexes, so it doesn't really, it's may or may not be the truth that you are kind of going through right now. So I was told that think about the time, how does it make you feel, how does your body react when you think about the fact that everyone is going to leave me? What behavior does it lead to for you? And how do you actually end up feeling when you have these emotions inside you? And how do you actually react when this happens? So cognitive behavioral therapy is for those people, I would say, who like to go through systematic way of breaking down a problem and kind of understanding what they're going through. So say for instance, if you are someone who is very fact driven, someone who really likes to deep dive and understand issues, that's when I would say CBT therapy is for you. But again, it depends on your diagnosis, it depends on what your psychiatrist or your psychologist feels is the right thing for you. Then there were other kind of therapies as well that we used to do. One it was interpersonal therapy. So interpersonal therapy, IPT therapy, is all about kind of trying to uh, just talk about what you are going through. So it is not necessarily that they will look at your thoughts, they will look at why you are feeling in a certain way or challenge your thoughts, but rather it's all about just talking and bringing everything out. So most of my therapy sessions in the hospital were group therapy sessions. So there were a lot of people in the group sitting, and you kind of talk about your emotions and you keep talking, and nobody kinds of passes a judgment or stops you in the middle or says anything. It's just you and your emotions, and you're given that space and time to kind of just express what you're going through. I do a lot of IPT therapy now, one to one with my therapist as well. So, even after I was diagnosed in 2019, and even after that, like even right now, I do go to therapy sometimes. When I'm going through a stressful period in my life, I try and do it on a weekly basis. Sometimes I try and do it on a monthly basis. And now I haven't seen my therapist since February, but I do feel like because of this whole pandemic situation, I feel like I need to book a session and talk to her about what I'm going through. Therapy just helps you to understand your emotions, your thoughts, where they are coming from, how are they making you feel. What, if you, I tend to think in a very black and white way. So, like, this is right and this is wrong. For me, it's always in two extremes. It doesn't work in the middle. And when you talk to a therapist, you can try and bring your thoughts in the middle and, you know, see how you can work towards, what uneasiness or emotions that you're feeling. Um, I think another thing people may think that, why do we need to talk to a therapist? I have my best friend, or your parents would think, oh, why don't you talk to us? When it comes to mental illnesses, therapy is required because your therapist is someone who is unbiased. Therapists are not meant to sit there and make you feel good. They are meant to sit there and help you to think about your thoughts, to think about your emotions, where they are coming from, why they are coming, and trying to look at things from a different perspective. So eventually, if I want to talk my heart out in a systematic way, if I talk to my sister, or if I talk to my mother or my best friend, they will always have emotions they'll want, because they love me, they care for me, and they would want me, the best out of me, and it will be very hard for them to kind of accept what I'm going through. Then therapists are guided by a confidentiality perspective as well. So say for instance, they have a confidentiality agreement in place. If you're telling things to the therapist, they are guided. I'm not so sure about the Mental Health Act in India, but in the UK here, they are required not to disclose what you are discussing with them outside, unless or until you are going, you're going to self harm, or you have very extreme suicidal thoughts. In that instance, they need to, let the authorities know so that you are safe. Other than that, a good therapist will never pass judgments, will never tell you, how they feel. It's not about their emotions, to an extent that, when I go to therapy, I talk to my therapist, she asks me, so how you're doing? Your instant reaction is, yeah, I'm okay, how are you doing? And that's how I tend to do. And my therapist doesn't answer that question. So it's not about them, it is not about what they are feeling or what they are going through. So that is also a good sign of a therapist, that they would keep their opinions and their judgments to themselves. Rather, I have seen my therapist cushion things as well by saying that this is what I think, this is what I believe, so that there is room for both of you to grow and kind of express. um, Someone has sent a comment. I booked but got slot for next month, 4th of June. Okay, I would recommend, there are a lot of people who go through a lot of waiting time as well for therapy. Couple of things that help me when I don't have a session coming up. If you feel like, if there is a creative way for you to kind of express what you're going through, I don't know, you don't have to be an artist, you don't have to be a poet, you don't have to be someone who writes magical words on a paper. Probably just sit down and just let it go. I am not an artist, but I tend to draw something, and when I draw things, things just naturally come out of it's a way for you to talk to yourself. It's a way to connect with your emotions and what you are really going through. If you feel like you're not sort of person who wants to draw stuff, or write down poems or stuff, I'm not saying everyone needs to write poems. What you can do is journaling is the easiest way to help yourself in therapy. Sit down with a pen and paper. Make sure that you assign a time in your life where you're going to journal. So I journal every day, 8:30 to 9. It's actually a social journaling space on a platform called Sanctus, and it is completely free, done through Zoom. There are 30-40 people of us just sitting down, journaling in silence. I can send some details if you're happy to join. And we just write. And you can have prompts in terms of how you're feeling. You can have prompts in terms of what you are grateful for. What emotion are you, what are you looking forward to. um, Earlier used to thought I could control it. Yeah, sorry, I'll come back to that, fit with Rahul. What I will try to say is that just write. Like I tend, sometimes I tend to write pages and pages. Sometimes I just tend to write, just one word and then just completely forget about it. And I understand that, especially when you are in a pandemic and you are, really is stress, all of these things go out of the window. But I would say that that is the time when you actually have to put things into practice. When you are feeling stressed, that is when you will need more journaling. And when you're feeling better, try to develop that habit of doing it over and over again every morning. If you decide from 8 to 8:30, I am just going to sit down and journal, that's your time. Even if you decide not to journal, just keep your phone away, social media away, and just sit there with your thoughts. See where they're coming from. Ask yourself why over and over again. There are a lot of material available online on CBT therapy, where you can just have a look. You can sit with a instructor and go through a model yourself. I recorded some videos as well, which are available on all of the social media platforms, in terms of unhelpful thinking habits. I'm not a qualified psychiatrist or psychologist by any way, but when you know all of these unhelpful thinking habits, they kind of help you to understand that, what is this pattern that I have a very black and white thinking pattern. So what I tend to do is I try to have a page where I write down, this is my black thinking pattern, this is my white thinking pattern, and then I kind of just try and bring myself in the middle, in that gray zone, which is uncomfortable for me, but I try and sit with it and just sense, like, how am I feeling about it. So, working out is also one way of connecting with your emotions. It's basically connecting with what is really going on. Kind of questioning yourself, where are these thoughts coming from? Are they your own thoughts, or something that you have taken from the society, or something, as part of your upbringing? What is really troubling you? And then, black and white as in an example, please. Okay, so black and white would be that either everything will be best in my life, and if that doesn't happen, then everything is going to shit. Say for instance, I if I get this job, my life will be amazing, and if I don't get that job, it's just end of the world for me. Everything is just gone to shit, basically. So that is very black and white, that you just think in that, if this happens it's good, if this happens it's bad. If I get another job, I don't know how I'm going to feel about it, because that was life and death for me, basically. Or thinking about catastrophizing things. Say for instance, if I quit my job, oh, I'm going to be really poor. I'm going to lose my apartment. How am I going to afford food on the table? And when you have thoughts like these, that's where you need to kind of bring a little bit of facts into place, and tell your mind that, look at your bank account balance. Let's work out some finances if you're going to be out of job or something. So yeah, like, I think if you have any questions on Facebook as well, just post them in the comments. I'll try and answer as many as I can. But the idea of therapy is not because it is for rich people. I think therapy is for everyone. And usually how parents told us life would be and how it is going, in spite of following everything, a great job, savings and all, but COVID has made our life so reliable, insecurity of being alive. That is true. I mean, I think a lot of people are not understanding that, we were not told how to survive a pandemic. Nobody was born in a way to go through what, if a pandemic happens, this is how you need to see. And absolutely, like, I think, death is something that is very, scary and challenging for a lot of people. And you have everything in the world, but suddenly if you lose a very close one, you feel like, how does this matter, everything is pointless. I think that is also an extreme example of kind of, or by I didn't travel, enjoy instant savings, and now I really. And that, the someone is, sorry, just commenting on Instagram that I'm trying to answer that. you know Try and ask your mind that, why are you, if everything is seeming pointless, and that has been happening for a long time, try and sit down and write why you are actually feeling that everything is pointless. See, I understand that at this point of time it is very hard for you to see light at the end of the tunnel, but for someone who was, clinically depressed. I was 28, and, I was in acute depression, and I just felt that, if death comes, I will be the happiest person in the world, because what is the point of living? And 2 years, still being on antidepressants, still going to therapy, I can say that you will see light at the end of the tunnel. You will see light at, things will get better. I know this pandemic has been going on for so long, it feels like, it's never ending. I had COVID as well, and I'm not trying to say that, look at me, I'm the best, but you know, at that point of time, you do feel depressed. You feel like, why do I have COVID? I was home after more than a year, and I couldn't hug my mother, I couldn't be with my parents, and you're sitting alone in a room, and all of this is taking a lot of hold on your mental health. Being a little bit more kinder, try to bring your attention to present. If you're thinking about the future a lot, and kind of people down my society went away, so yeah, and absolutely, I mean, it is, people are grieving not just for their personal loss, but the loss of the society as a whole as well. Like, you constantly hearing about people passing away because of COVID, or suffering because of COVID. It's very hard to, think of anything positive, or even to be in the moment. And I will say, at this point of time, try and appreciate your thoughts. You try, and these thoughts have grabbed my nerves. Absolutely. And, it's absolutely okay what you're going through right now, Rahul, because it's not just, everyone is going through this. And the good thing is that you recognize that all of these thoughts are troubling you. So, what I did a reel on how to cope with COVID as well. I think, have a certain limit to how much you want to help people, or have a, I don't know, every morning, probably, I don't know if you pray or if you believe in God. If you don't, that's completely fine. Probably just, light a candle and try to remember the good things with these people. Try and see if you can, just be silent for them for a moment, and, kind of respect and appreciate that, okay, this is a situation, I'm sorry, I'm on low battery on my phone. But yeah, sorry, just to come back on this topic. Therapy is something that is not for rich people. It is not a money minting way. It is something that is essential for your mental well-being. Try and speak to a psychologist or a therapist, get their point of view, get their there are a lot of resources available online as well for you to do therapy yourself. You can do a lot of mindfulness practices as well. There are videos on social media for just another illness as well, if you want to practice mindfulness a bit. Journaling is the easiest way out. Just trying to 5 deep breaths when I feel anxious. That's what I do. 5 deep breaths just help me to bring my focus and attention to the present moment. Try and if you feel like breath is something that cannot work. No, I think it was my internet. I'm sorry, I'm low on battery right now. And if you're feeling really anxious and anxiety and nerves are getting on to you, what I usually tell people is just stand up and just walk. Even if you're crying, even if you are feeling that there is no tomorrow and nothing is going to get better, just walk and observe your foot as you keep them as you're walking, and just try and see if that will help you to bring your thoughts into the present moment. I'm going to end this live now because it's been 18 minutes of me ranting. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the comment section. I'm going to post some information regarding what different types of therapies are. Yes, trying meditation, book therapist, appointment letters, ask the same, my friend. Cool. Yes, definitely. And if you feel like you are, you're not hopeful for tomorrow, it's fine. Try and be present. This in this pandemic, the only thing I can say is, let's take baby steps. Let's just take every moment as it comes, instead of living in the past or living in the future. Thank you to you for all of your inputs, Rahul. But just try and be in the present, and your mind, let it wander off. And it wander off, it's fine. Like, you don't have to feel guilty that why was I not in the present moment. Just bring it back. I learned someone somewhere saying that your mind is a little puppy that will just go around wandering about, and then what do? You just pat the puppy and just try and bring it back in the present moment, and just be a lot more kinder to your own self. And if you're going through this, it is a hard time. I'm not saying not just for people who are going through COVID, but everyone. It is a very hard time. Just being kinder to yourself. There are a lot of free therapy sessions available as well. I'll try and put all of those links. Um, you know, get those sessions, and even you can do group therapy yourself. You don't need a psychologist or a psychiatrist to be there. Just group of friends sit down together, listen to each other talk without any judgments, just telling each other that it is a hard time, and thank you for opening up, thank you for telling me what you're going through. And when you listen to your friends say the same thing what you are going through, I think it just helps to bring a lot of empathy for everyone. Okay, that's all I had to say. Thank you so much for everyone who joined. And if you have any questions regarding therapy, my own experience of therapy has been great. I'm a huge believer that therapy should be included in schools, and everyone should do therapy, even if you don't have a mental illness, even if you feel like you have mental well-being. I think the has isolated my I love such I'll try and we have a WhatsApp group as well, Rahul, if you would want to join that. If you feel like you want to connect to people in this pandemic, feel free to join that as well. But if there is anything else you would like to know about my therapy experience, please let me know. And thank you so much for listening, and have a great evening. Thank you.